Mom doesn't need extra stress, she said. I agreed, then hosted a dinner across the street from theirs. She told me, Mom doesn't need extra stress. So I didn't show up to the family dinner. I hosted my own right across the street. I never intended to go nuclear. Honestly, I just wanted to sit at a table where I didn't feel like I had to shrink myself down to fit. But sometimes silence builds up like steam in a pressure cooker, and one day, something simple, like a dinner, blows the whole damn lid off. Let me rewind. I'm the youngest of 3. My sister Hannah is the responsible one, firstborn, perfect haircut, married to a financial advisor named Brent who uses words like portfolio in casual conversation. My brother Josh is the fun one, easygoing, makes everyone laugh, shows up with a bottle of wine and zero follow-through. And then there's me. The emotional one. The complicated one. The one who moved back to our hometown to care for Dad during his chemo, who held Mom's hand at 3 a.m. when no one else would answer their phone. But somehow, I'm always a bit much. This year was the first Mother's Day since Dad passed. I knew it was going to be hard. So I texted Hannah early in the week and offered to help organize something low-key but meaningful. Her reply came a few hours later. Hannah, I think we're just going to keep it small this year. Just us. Mom doesn't need extra stress. Just us. I read it again and again. I waited a beat before responding, giving her the benefit of the doubt. Me? Oh. I thought I was part of US. But okay. She didn't respond for 2 days. When she did, it was classic Hannah, diplomatic to the point of dishonesty. Hannah, of course you're part of us. I just meant immediate family. Like, Mom, me, Josh, Brent and the kids. The casual exclusion was like a slap in the face. As if I was some second cousin crashing a reunion, not her own damn sister. That night, I cried in my car outside of Target. Not because of the dinner. But because I realized how easily I'd become someone people think they're doing a favor by excluding. But here's the thing, I didn't text back. I didn't beg for a seat at a table that clearly didn't have a chair for me. Instead, I called my friend Melissa, who lives across the street from Hannah's suburban compound, and I asked her if I could use her backyard Sunday evening. She didn't even hesitate. I'll bring the table and lights, she said. You bring the wine. And just like that, dinner was back on. Just not at their house. I made Mom's favorite pasta, the one with lemon zest and cream that Dad used to call fancy but dangerous. I printed a photo of the 3 of us from when I was 5, framed it, and put it in the center of the table. I lit candles. Melissa's dog kept trying to sneak bites of bread off the side plates. It was messy and beautiful and real. And here's the kicker, Mom came. She came. I still don't know what made her come. Maybe it was the way I signed the invite. I didn't text her some guilt-ridden plea. I just wrote. Backyard dinner, 6 p.m. No pressure. Just pasta and love. And then I left it alone. I half expected her to ignore it, maybe text later with a polite excuse, feeling tired. Let's catch up soon. But at exactly 5:58 p.m., her silver Subaru pulled up outside Melissa's house. She stepped out wearing that soft blue sweater Dad bought her on their last anniversary, and my heart caught in my throat. She walked into the yard like it was a dream she wasn't sure she was supposed to be having. I wasn't sure if I should come, she said, her voice small. I smiled and opened my arms. You're always welcome, Mom. No RSVP required. She hugged me tighter than I expected. And then we just sat, talked, ate, laughed, even. I told her stories about Dad that we'd forgotten to remember lately. She teared up when I gave her the framed photo. It wasn't perfect. The pasta was a little overcooked because I was nervous and forgot to set a timer. Melissa's dog did get a bread roll off the table when we weren't looking. But it was peaceful. Intimate. Exactly the kind of night we all needed, especially her. Until about 7:30. That's when I noticed Hannah standing in Melissa's driveway, arms crossed, glaring like she was staring at an open wound. She didn't walk in. She didn't wave. Just stood there, looking between me, our mother, and the table like she couldn't believe what she was seeing. Mom saw her too. Her fork paused midair. For a second, I thought she might get up and go. But she didn't. She turned to me and whispered, I didn't want to sit through a dinner where everyone pretends we're fine. And right there, something unspoken broke open between us. I realized that she wasn't just showing up for me, she was stepping away from something too. Something stifling. Hannah left after a minute. Just turned and walked back across the street, heels clicking on the driveway like punctuation marks. I didn't hear from her that night. Not a call. Not a message. But Josh did text. And what he said made my jaw drop. The message came in just after 10 p.m. Josh. Hey. Hannah's pissed. Says you manipulated Mom. Honestly? I think you just did what the rest of us didn't have the guts to. I stared at the screen, half expecting it to vanish. Josh wasn't known for deep thoughts. This was the guy who once RSVP'd to our uncle's wedding with "maybe if I'm not hungover." But something about his message felt real. Like a crack in the wall everyone else kept painting over. I replied. Me. Not trying to make anyone mad. Just didn't want to feel invisible anymore. A few seconds later. Josh. You're not invisible. You're the only one actually showing up. That last sentence sat heavy in my chest. I hadn't realized how badly I needed to hear it. The next morning, I got a call from Hannah. Not a text. A call. I let it ring 3 times before I picked up, knowing full well this wasn't going to be a pleasant conversation. She didn't waste time. So, you're just throwing family dinners now? Across the street from ours? With Mom? Her voice was tight. Controlled. That kind of calm that's actually just rage wearing pearls. I invited her. She came. I didn't steal anyone, I said flatly. You completely undermined me. That made me laugh. Not out of spite, out of exhaustion. This isn't a corporate takeover, Hannah. It's dinner. With our mom. Who, by the way, seemed a lot less stressed eating overcooked pasta than I've ever seen her at one of your perfectly curated dinners. Silence. Then she snapped. You don't understand what it's like trying to keep everything together. I took a deep breath. No, Hannah. I do. I've just stopped pretending that holding it all together means leaving people out. She didn't respond right away. When she did, her voice was lower. Almost shaky. She said it felt good to not pretend. That kind of stung. I softened a little. It wasn't about hurting you. It was about making space for something real. For all of us. I just stopped waiting for permission. There was a long pause. Then, well, I guess we're doing separate holidays now too? I didn't answer that. Because maybe we are. And maybe that's okay for now. The call ended with no resolution. Just a strained talk soon, which we both knew was a placeholder for not anytime soon. But a funny thing happened that week. Josh invited me over for beers. Melissa dropped off a bottle of wine and a note that said, for the next backyard dinner. And Mom? She texted me 3 days later with a recipe suggestion. Think you could do that lemon pasta again? But with shrimp this time? I replied. Absolutely. Want to come help make it? She did. Mom showed up with a bag of groceries and her apron still folded in the original packaging, like she wasn't sure if she was really allowed to use it. She looked around my kitchen, a little hesitant. Haven't cooked in someone else's house in a while, she said with a small smile. You raised 3 kids in kitchens, I replied. This one's yours too. We got to work chopping garlic, deveining shrimp, zesting lemons like pros. The silence between us wasn't awkward, it was comfortable. Like the kind of quiet that comes from 2 people who've seen each other cry and don't need to fill every space with words. Until she said this. I didn't know how to tell her no. I looked up. Hannah? She nodded, hands still moving, peeling shrimp like it was muscle memory. She means well. She always has. But ever since your father passed, it's like she thinks it's her job to manage me. And I let her. I let her talk me into staying quiet, staying small. But Sunday, she paused and met my eyes. Sunday reminded me that I still get to choose how I feel, who I'm with. It floored me. Not because I didn't know she felt this way deep down, I'd suspected it. But hearing it out loud made it real. I'm sorry, she continued, voice a little shakier now. I should have said something sooner. To you. To her. I guess I was afraid of making things harder. You're not the only one, I said. We plated dinner and ate on my tiny balcony. No tablecloth, no centerpieces. Just pasta, 2 forks, and the sound of wind between buildings. Later that night, after she left, I sat alone at the sink, scrubbing pans and thinking about how many dinners I'd spent trying to earn a seat at someone else's table. I didn't want that anymore. I wanted to build my own. Even if it only had 3 chairs to start. The next morning, Hannah sent a photo in the family group chat, her kids holding handmade "We love Nana" signs. No caption. No mention of the conversation we'd had. But it felt pointed. Like a reminder of who had Mom last. I didn't engage. Not out of pride, out of peace. Let her win the posts. I had the peeling shrimp and a shared meal. And just when I thought the tension might settle, a message came in, not from Hannah, not from Josh. From Dad's sister. My Aunt Jean. Aunt Jean. Heard there was some drama on Mother's Day. Can I come to the next dinner? I think it's time someone told you what really happened last year. That message blew the lid off everything I thought I knew.